Good evening, guys, and welcome back to Haywire Homestead. I thought we'd take a look in the garden and see how things are going. It has been really hot, really humid, but dry. And then yesterday we finally got a rainstorm after probably a good over a week. I mean, it was crazy. If you've been with us, you've seen all the flooding that we've had in the past throughout the spring and early summer. And then we just went to dry, and hot. So I'm taking a look at everything. My green beans are growing really odd. I'll show you that in just a minute. But let's take a look at one thing that looks like it's actually doing something this year, and I'm really happy about. So my tomatoes that were dying due to all the excess rain have actually recouped. We did use some organic tomato tone on them, as well as using a little bit of nitrogen over the whole garden. And you can see these are San Marzanos, and there's actually one starting to turn a little bit orange. But oh, and the first 6 in this row are the ones that I put the egg in the hole. Now, some of the other ones are doing just as good as these, but these ones recouped a lot faster from all of the rain, and these ones didn't peter out and die like several of the other ones did. So still kind of up in the air how much putting the whole egg in the hole actually works, but we're willing to give it a go another year. So the tomatoes, we actually might get enough tomatoes to harvest and make my salsa. We've not been able to do that. Last year we got absolutely no tomatoes. Our plants were just a hot mess. You can see how well using the cattle panel. And then just, these are actually garden ties. I bought a cheap bag of them, if you see here, this little green stripe. So you can use those, you can use zip ties, you can use yarn. I've even used baling twine before, but these are just gorgeous. Now, I'm gonna show you in just 1 minute the Romas. Look at this one. This one is fabulous. It had a sucker that actually grew off of it. Actually, I think it's got another one down there at the bottom that I need to tie up. But it's doing amazing. So these ones down here, okay. But then as we come into this row is also San Marzanos, and they're doing quite well. My Romas, on the other hand, are still struggling. They are starting to recoup a little bit. You can see this one here has a small baby tomato on it, right there. So they're trying, but they are still having a hard time. I'm gonna have to come out here with my nippers and clean them up a little bit. You can see the yellowing down here on the bottom. We need to eliminate that before it causes a problem. We need to weed too. We've been really busy. Fair's coming up. See, you can see this one. The Romas just did not do well. They really struggled with the excessive rain, and then we got super hot. Now, I'm not sure what changed in regards to the other end over there that I just showed you and this end here, but these ones are significant. These Romas look much nicer. We might actually get a few Roma tomatoes out of them. On up here, we have more Romas, and then over here we have what's called a Homestead tomato, which is kind of like a good, similar, I'd say, to maybe like an early girl. It's more of an eating tomato. My husband really wanted those. My peppers. The peppers in this row, a couple of them have actually died. And then you can see the yellowing. I'm not sure if they're going to recoup or not. And we lost a couple tomatoes down there. My green beans came up. They should be twice the size that they are. I have never had green beans this little in my entire life. I'm a little sad, but then again, I have so many canned in jars. I probably have over 100 quarts of green beans. So if it's a flop this year, it's not going to totally break my heart because I don't have to have them. The other odd thing that I've noticed is that the green beans are, I don't know how to describe it. They're soft and squishy. If you ever grown green beans and they get past their prime, they'll start to kind of get soft. And these are like that, and they're young. I've never had them do that. If anyone knows why and what may be going on, we're going to get a soil sample done through the ag office to see what all we've got going on here that's causing us so much trouble. Now my sweet peppers down there, as you saw down there, are really yellowing. These ones are trying to come back, which is really nice. I'm hoping that these ones will actually start to get some peppers on them. I am seeing that they are getting ready to blossom. So, or at least a couple of them are. All right, now I don't know what kind of bug that is. That one was crazy. Looked almost like a potato bug, but I don't know why a potato bug would be on a pepper. All right, my hot peppers are up here. My watermelon died. My cushaw squash plant had trouble with vine borer. It had 2 different starts off of it. I had to break the one off that was infected from the vine borer and just disposed of it. These are my spicy peppers, and I'm not quite sure what they're doing. Oh, look, I have, hang on, let's see what these are. These are my jalapenos. And look, I have little jalapenos. Oh, that's kind of exciting. Now over here, these are my habaneros. And that's a marigold. You know, the one thing I'm growing really good this year is marigolds. It's pretty impressive. My marigolds are doing awesome. Well, so I don't see any habaneros yet. So maybe we'll get some of those. Maybe we'll get enough to do something. I don't think we'll get enough to do any red pepper jelly. These are the kidney beans. We put these in after the peas, and I think we might get enough to maybe make a little bit of seed. They've got some blossoms on them, so we'll see whether or not we actually get some beans from them. They've got some buds starting here. Oh, look, there's a little bean right there. Can you see that? But look at my marigolds. They look fabulous, don't they? So I guess if one thing, I can grow marigolds, right? These are my zucchini. They're not growing either. They're really, really small compared to what they should be. These things should be massive. I'm hoping, since I planted them a little bit later, which you can do to try to avoid the squash bugs, we'll see. Hopefully I don't wind up with that problem. A couple videos ago, we harvested a row of potatoes here. We were going to try to plant something else, but I think this year has just been such a wash. We're just going to stop, cover the garden with black plastic at the end of the year, and reset. But these are my Yukon, or no, these are Kennebecs. So these potato plants are Kennebecs. Some of the vines are starting to, plants are starting to die off a little bit. And it looks like, I mean, the Japanese beetles have been getting in here pretty good too. So we're gonna be harvesting those probably within the next week. Here is my loofah gourd plant. Fabulous. I don't see any fruit on it as of yet, but I do see some buds up here starting. So hopefully we'll get some of those. This is one of the things that I was really hopeful for, and I'm really excited. This is a birdhouse gourd vine. And look, there's one. Now this is one, this is a good lesson. This one right here, see how tiny it is? See this tiny one, and it's yellowing? This one did not get fertilized. It was a female. There's actually 2. Here's another one. See, it's dying off. These were not fertilized for whatever reason, and that's why they are turning yellow. That one was, so it's getting to be big size. There's a couple more small ones here. Seeing a lot of female flowers on this plant and not a ton of male ones. So hopefully it'll come around, and if not, maybe I'll need to plant 2 of them next year, right? These are my cucumbers that didn't want to grow, and they are finally starting to grow. And for the life of me, I don't remember what I planted. What variety. I know they were from M.I. Gardner. This one actually does have a small little baby cucumber on it. Over on this side, I planted what's called a muncher, and I'm thinking it's more of a bush cucumber. And look at that. So I can't wait till that's ready, because we're actually out of cucumber right now. This is my Cherokee Tan pumpkin vine, and it is doing awesome. So I am really hopeful that we get some Cherokee Tan pumpkins. We were gifted the seeds by Deep South Homestead in Crazy Days. This is the kids' garden. My kids have not done a very good job at weeding, but Alex has some really pretty flowers over there. Look at that. Most of the corn and everything has pretty well been taken over. Gabe's been trying to keep his cantaloupe and his cushaw squash plant clear of weeds as much as possible, but the corn, you can see the corn is just covered. So I think next year we need to get the kids on to mulching a little bit better. Maybe give them a little bit smaller space. It's a little bit more manageable. They wanted this whole big area here, and I think that was just too much for them to conquer. All right, that's it for the big garden. I've got to head inside and get some things done. I'll show you guys the kitchen garden another time. Take it easy.